A very good evening to you and thanks for your time. So where are we at the moment? What does this development actually mean for Boris Johnson's aspirations?
Well, it is looking increasingly like Boris Johnson will, in the next couple of hours, get the approval that he has been seeking for a December general election. There is legislation being debated as we speak, going through the House of Commons to get him to that point. Now, one of the potential pitfalls for him is that lawmakers, MPs, can amend the legislation which proposes a December general election, and some opposition MPs are going to try and amend it in ways which would be troubling for the government, and it may have to, at that point, drop the whole thing. But if the government can get through unscathed, then it is looking very much like a December election is now on the cards, because what we've seen change today is that Jeremy Corbyn, the leader of the opposition Labour Party, has said that he now believes that a no-deal Brexit is off the table to an extent that he believes that Labour can now back the election that Boris Johnson has been calling for. So December looks pretty much like the month that we are going to get that general election. Now, the date still to be nailed down. Boris Johnson wants December the 12th. It may be that MPs amend that date slightly to December the 10th or the 11th. But if the government gets this legislation through in the next couple of hours, we're set for a Christmas election.
So what would that election actually mean? How would it benefit Boris Johnson? What would it actually mean for Brexit?
An election is certainly going to be fought on the basis of Brexit. Boris Johnson will campaign on the basis of delivering the Brexit deal that he has reached with Brussels, and if he is able to secure a significant parliamentary majority, then he would be able to deliver Brexit pretty quickly after winning an election. Now, I'm speaking to you from Paris this evening, and the French have been very clear that they only really wanted to grant Britain a long extension to Brexit if there was going to be a reason for it, a reason like a general election. So here in Paris there is certainly at the Elysée some welcoming of the news that there's going to be an election in the UK, because they feel that might be able to resolve the standoff that we've seen in recent months. But of course it is certainly not a given that Boris Johnson wins this election. We could end up with another hung parliament, and that could lead to the impasse, the stalemate with regards to Brexit and British politics just being extended further into the future.
So if this election does happen in December, Ollie, so what are the choices that voters will actually be offered? What will they be looking at? What will they use to decide?
Well, this is one of the reasons that the Conservative Party have been pretty up for an election, is that they believe they have a very clear offering to the voters. Back Boris Johnson and you'll be backing his Brexit deal that's already been agreed with Brussels. No more negotiations need to take place. Britain can come out of the European Union on that basis. He'll also offer a domestic agenda with more spending on the health service, education, tougher on crime. The opposition Labour Party will also try and focus on the domestic agenda in many ways. They'll try and criticise the government for what they see as being very damaging austerity in recent years. They'll point to rising levels, they say, of inequality and poverty in the United Kingdom. On Brexit, the Labour Party's position is slightly less clear than that of the Conservatives. That is admitted by many Labour MPs themselves. What they will be saying is that if they win the election, the Labour Party, they will renegotiate the deal with the European Union and then offer a second Brexit referendum on that deal. That appeals to many voters, the idea of having another vote. It also turns quite a lot of voters off, and there are many constituencies that traditionally vote Labour that actually voted Brexit, and the Conservatives will be targeting them, those seats, those constituencies, furiously.
Okay, well, I wonder if Santa will bring Boris Johnson what he wants. Ollie Barrett, thank you very much, our UK correspondent in Paris at the moment.